Hi everybody! In this tutorial I'm going to introduce to you the fundamentals and the most important tools to draw in Autocad. Along with the commands, I want to teach you crucial tips to draw with precision and efficiency. As there is a lot of information in this video, it's very hard to memorize everything in just one time. So you can save this link to watch this tutorial later, and in the description you can go directly to the topic you want to watch. It can be very useful. Before starting to draw, it's important to understand how the units work. To use Object Snap, snaps the pointer to specific points in objects. Polar Tracking, snaps lines in orthographic directions. And Ortho Mode, draw horizontal and vertical lines. Let's start with the units. I am going to type units and press enter to open the drawing unit settings window. In length, we can specify first the type of units. If we draw in metrical units, for example meters, millimeters or centimeters, we select decimal. For inches and feet, the most common are architectural and engineering units. In this tutorial, I will be using decimal units. And in precision, I choose 0, with no decimals. Now, the question is, am I going to use meters, millimeters or centimeters? First of all, it's important to know that the drawing system in AutoCAD is a-dimensional. When I draw any object that measures 20, it's up to me to decide what is the unit of that value. For example, in this project for a floor plan, I choose the unit as millimeters, and I'm drawing the objects in real size. Basically, we only need to scale the drawing for printing purposes. Object Snap. This option is very important to draw with precision. Imagine we have a line here, and we want to draw a second line that continues the first one. When I use any drawing command, and if I move closer to this end, this indication of the endpoint appears and allows me to draw the second line starting exactly from that point. On the arrow next to Object Snap, I can see the snap modes. Here I can choose which ones I want to activate, according to my needs. If the object snap is off, these snap points don't show, and the objects that I draw can be unprecise. Polar Tracking. This is also a very important function that you should activate. It snaps the lines when you want to draw them vertically and horizontally. So, let's start with the drawing commands. In this tutorial, I'm not going to teach you all of them, because some are rarely used. I'll be focusing just the ones I consider more important. Line. This is the most basic drawing tool. To draw a line, click on the icon, click for inserting the first point, then to draw a horizontal line, we move right, and when the polar tracking appears on the screen, we can insert the length that we desire. I type 200 and press enter. After, I could continue drawing another line, or if I want to leave the command, I press the key escape. To confirm that I draw the line correctly, I double-click on the object to open the Quick Properties window, and here you can find the length. In the next example, I'm going to draw these 3 lines. I click again on the icon line, click for the first point, move horizontally, insert 100 and press enter. Then I can draw a second line. This time I move up, and when I see the 90 degrees polar tracking, insert a length of 50. Then, as I don't want to continue drawing from this point, I press escape. I'm going to draw the third line. Instead of clicking on the icon line again, I can press enter to reactivate the previous command used. Look to the command bar to notice it. Then the third line starts from this point. And as soon as I move closely, it snaps to the end point. If I click now, the new line starts exactly from this intersection. Now I can type 100. Line with an angle. In this example, first I insert a line with length 100. Press Enter to turn on line, click for the first point, move right, type 150 and press Enter. Then I move the pointer in this way. Type the length 100. And now, instead of Enter, I press the button Tab to switch to the angle. If I move the pointer around, you can notice that the length is locked. So I just need to insert 30 and press Enter. Polyline. A polyline is an object formed by several line segments. To draw a polyline, I click on the icon next to the command line. Click for the first point. Then I draw these three segments. Oh, here I started typing the value, but the line is not horizontal. I can press Escape to undo the action, no problem. When I finish, press Escape. Next example. Here I have to draw a closed polyline, which means that all the objects are connected. Press Enter to turn on Polyline again and start, for example, in this corner. Here I'm going to use the ortho mode because it's easier to draw only vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, as this should now be easier for you to make it, I will fast forward a bit. To connect the last line with the start point, I can type CL for close and press Enter. So, the main difference between lines and polylines is, when I draw these objects using the command line, they are all independent. If I do the same thing using Polyline, it creates a single object. How to convert lines in a polyline? It's very easy. I can use the command join, type join or the shortcut J, press Enter, select all the lines and press Enter again. This is now a polyline. Rectangle. This is in fact a closed polyline, but to draw this kind of objects, it's faster. Click on the command. Click for the first point. Then we place the opposite corner or type the relative coordinates according to the first point. For example, I type 20 for the x-axis, then I press Tab and type 30 for the y-axis. Here you have the result. Circle. To draw a circle, we can activate the command located next to Polyline. However, if we click on the arrow below, we can find several ways to draw circles. I click on the first one, Center Radius. I click to place the center, then move the pointer and I can either click to draw the circle or enter the radius. I insert 50 and press Enter. Second example, Center Diameter. Here I use a similar process, but this time I type the diameter. Insert a circle by specifying 2 points, which are the two extremities of the diameter. 3 point. Here we choose 3 points and Autocad generates the only possible circle here. Tangent, tangent, radius. We click on 2 lines, then we insert a radius. The circle is drawn in order to be tangent to the lines. Tangent, tangent, tangent. There is only one possible circle that is tangent to 3 lines at the same time. Now you have the result. Arc. If you are not sure what is an arc, it's a segment of a circle that also means it has a radius as assigned. To draw an arc, I can click on the icon there, and like the command circle, if I click on the arrow below, I can see all these ways. In this tutorial, I just show you some of them. 3-point arc. I define 3 points, and the only possible arc is generated. Start center angle. With this method, I specify first the start point, then the center, and finally an angle for the arc. Start center end. Here I choose a start point, then a center, which also defines the radius. An important tip. Arcs are generated by default in an anti-clockwise direction, but if you want to change it, hold the Ctrl key. Finally, click for the endpoint. Start end radius. In this situation, I specify 2 points and then I define a radius, for example, of 80. Move and copy. If I want to move objects to a different place, click on Move, select the object, specify the base point, and click in a different place. The base point determines the position where we pick up the objects. For example, look how it moves when I choose a different point. The command copy is similar to move. The difference is that it keeps the original objects. Look at this example. Let's copy this rectangle to the next space. I am going to specify this corner as the base point, then I click on the next one to copy the object there. A good thing about this command is that I can keep copying the objects until I press Escape. Copy objects in array mode. If you look at the prompt sentence, when I select the objects to copy them, it says here array. I type A to use that option. Then select the number of objects to array. I choose 4, for example, and they will have the same distances between them. When I type 4, that also includes the original object. Mirror. The command mirror is used to place objects in a symmetrical position. Let's mirror this triangle here. I click on the icon, select the polyline, press Enter. Then I have to draw a mirror line from the middle of this distance. I place the pointer at this endpoint, move right and type 50. I need to draw a vertical mirror to place the window in the position that I want. Also, it's not important the length of the mirror line, just imagine it continue infinitely. Click, and finally I have to decide if I want to erase the original objects or not. I choose No. Trim. This tool is used to erase segments of objects between intersections. Let's try it. I am going to draw 3 lines here randomly. The point is that they intersect each other. Activate the command. Select all the lines. Press Enter. Then I click to erase the parts between intersections. Of course, this process only works for the lines I select. If here I would select only 2 lines, then I erase the segments according to those objects. Extend. In the arrow next to Trim, I can switch to Extend. With this command, I can extend objects towards an intersection. First, I select not the objects to extend, but those that will be the boundaries. Press Enter. Then I want to extend this line towards the first object. I can select more boundaries if I want. Press Enter. Then, if I want to extend this line to the object above, I click on this side. By moving the pointer to the opposite side, I extend the line towards the rectangle. The command extend can be useful to extend multiple objects at the same time, like what happens in this situation. Fillet. The command fillet turns corners in a slight curve. It's very commonly used in Autocad. I am going to click on the icon fillet. Then the prompt asks me to select the object. But when we use this tool for the first time, we usually have the radius set up as 0, and consequently, nothing happens after specifying the objects. So, we have to click on radius there, or type R, and press Enter. Insert 20 for the radius. Now, I can select the first line, then the second one. The order is not important, and as you see, an arc was created in the corner with radius 20. Let's see the next example. I am going to show you to use fillet for all the corners in this polyline. It's really simple. Activate the command. Now it says radius 20. I leave it like that, but this time I want to use the option Polyline. Finally, I select the polyline and you can see that the command applied to all the corners at the same time. Chamfer. The command chamfer works in a similar way as the command fillet, but instead of an arc, it creates a line. We have to specify two distances in order to draw it. To find chamfer, click on the arrow next to fillet. Now, the first thing here is to specify the distances. I click there or type D. For the first distance, I choose 20, and for the second, 40. Select the first object. Here you have to respect the order if you want to draw the line correctly. Then click on the second object, and the action is completed. Important tip. For both commands fillet and chamfer, by default the original corners are erased. However, if you want to keep them, click on the option Trim and then change it to No Trim. You can see the difference. Scale. We can use scale to resize objects. Let's learn how this command works. I click on the icon Scale. Then, I want to resize this polyline with the scale factor. That's the default option for this command. Choose a base point. Now, it prompts me to insert a scale factor. I'm going to type 0.5, and all the dimensions are converted to half size. Scale with a reference. Look at this situation. I need to resize this door to fit in this space. I activate the command Scale again. Click on the door and press Enter. Select a base point. Then, at the prompt sentence, it says Specify scale factor or copy reference. I click on Reference. Basically, I'm going to specify a distance between those 2 points. I click on them and I insert 870 for the new length. Finally, I should be able to move the door to fit in the space. Another way of using reference is, instead of typing the reference length, I click on 2 points. Click on the option Points. Then the first point is this one and the second in the other side. Okay, you just reached the end of the first part of this tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and if you need extra help, I can give you online private lessons. Send me an email for more information. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you know what to do. Thank you, and till the next tutorial.